For most professional wrestlers, winning a world championship in WWE is the ultimate accomplishment. A wrestler dreams about it their whole life, and most feel on top of the world when they finally get there. However, a world title win can also feel quite pointless at times. In this video we won't talk about title wins or reigns that were necessarily bad. Instead we'll be addressing wins that fans look back on and clearly see management had no idea what to do. Some did result in relatively long title reigns, but others were so pointless that many fans keep forgetting that they happened to begin with. Welcome to Honor Wrestling Club, and here are the 10 most pointless title changes ever. Welcome to the club. In number 10, we have The Big Show with the WWE Championship from Survivor Series 1999. The main event of Survivor Series 1999 was supposed to be an epic triple threat match for the WWE Championship between Triple H, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. However, Austin needed a neck surgery following his bad injury against Owen Hart at SummerSlam 1997, and he would have to be removed from the match to undergo spinal surgery. The company promoted Austin in the main event until the day of the event, as the show was airing anyway. His absence was explained in a backstage segment that saw Austin being ran over by a car, because that's just what a guy who needs neck surgery needs, isn't it? He would be replaced by The Big Show, who had already competed in a Survivor Series elimination match earlier. Show shockingly won the title, despite being in a mid-card feud with the Big Boss Man. Show would keep it for nearly 2 months as well, but his reign always felt random and quite pointless. And it didn't start off well because he was replacing the best guy ever. In number 9, we've Kurt Angle with the WCW Championship on the July 26, 2001 edition of SmackDown. WWE already had several championships in the Attitude Era, but more would follow during the Invasion angle. After WCW closed its doors in March earlier that year, the promotion's titles made their way to WWE television. That included the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, which was brought to WWE by Booker T. Booker defended the title against Kurt Angle on an ordinary episode of SmackDown, and lost. Booker would regain the gold in a rematch on the very next episode of Raw. With the two trading the world title in cold matches on free TV, it was as if they were fighting over the bloody European Championship instead of the top prize in the new promotion you've just acquired that you're trying to pit as equal to WWE. In number 8, we have Batista with the World Heavyweight Championship at Cyber Sunday 2008. Batista is one of the greatest World Heavyweight Champions in WWE history. The Animal first won the title from Triple H in the main event of WrestleMania 21. Then Batista became associated with the big gold belt by holding it for a long time during his run as the face of SmackDown in the mid-2000s. Batista won it again after returning to Raw in 2008, but sadly the reign was nothing compared to the other ones. Chris Jericho, who was on absolute fire as a heel champion feuding with Shawn Michaels, lost to Batista at Cyber Sunday. Jericho would win the title back a week later, making the Animal's reign extremely pointless. In number 7, we're sticking with Big Gold as we have Dolph Ziggler this time on the February 18th, 2011 SmackDown edition. This is one of those world title reigns everyone forgets. When one thinks of Dolph Ziggler as World Heavyweight Champion, the first thing that comes to mind is the show-off's incredible Money in the Bank cash-in against Alberto Del Rio on the Raw After Mania episode on 2013. But that was actually Ziggler's second world title win. That's right, Dolph Ziggler's a 2-time world champion. Guys like Kevin Owens and Finn Balor, just one time, Dolph Ziggler better than them. 2 years earlier, Dolph Ziggler was feuding with Edge over the world title. Vicky Guerrero, the acting general manager at the time, banned the spear. The Rated R superstar used it anyway, because what's babyface going to do but cheat? So Guerrero decided to give the belt to her then boyfriend Dolph Ziggler, and stick it to her ex-husband. Teddy Long was returned moments later, however, and immediately booked a title match that Edge won to take back the strap. In at number 6, we have Rey Mysterio with the WWE Championship from the July 25th edition of Raw in 2011. The summer of 2011 was dominated by CM Punk's feud with John Cena over the WWE Championship. The story was that Punk became champion on the final day of his WWE contract at Money in the Bank 2011. You may have heard about that match, man. I'm not sure. It never gets really brought up all that much. A tournament would be created to crown a new champion, killing the entire purpose of the storyline. Now, why was Vince McMahon so mad about Punk winning, since he could just announce a tournament the next day? Weird. The finals ended up taking place the following week, 8 days following Money in the Bank, with Rey Mysterio beating The Miz to win the WWE Championship in 20... I suppose Miz main evented Mania that year. Anything's possible at that point, isn't it? Later that night, Mysterio was challenged by John Cena, who regained the title. Moments after Cena's win, CM Punk returned to WWE with his own championship belt, setting up a rematch between Cena and Punk for SummerSlam. Toilet flush gif here. What a waste of time. In number 5, we have The Big Show for the World Heavyweight Championship at TLC 2011. After 15 years in the Big Dub, Mark Henry finally reached the top of the mountain in 2011. The world's strongest man destroyed some of the biggest names on the roster, including his victims into the Hall of Pain. At that year's Night of Champions event, he beat Randy Orton to win his first World Heavyweight Championship. The end of Henry's title reign, and the end of his main event push if we're honest, couldn't have been more flat. He lost a chairs match to The Big Show in 5 minutes at TLC 2011. Show could even walk out the ring with his new belt as Daniel Bryan cashed in Money in the Bank to become the new champion. A cash-in on Henry would have worked just as well, and the fact that Big Show would then start a feud with Cody Rhodes for the Intercontinental Championship heading into WrestleMania 28 made this short world title reign feel even more pointless. In number 4, we have Daniel Bryan with the WWE Championship at Night of Champions 2013. Daniel Bryan scored a huge clean win over John Cena in the main event of SummerSlam 2013 to win the WWE Championship. The Authority, however, didn't want Bryan anywhere near the company's top prize. Randy Orton cashed in Money in the Bank after Triple H, the special guest referee for the aforementioned Cena-Bryan match, delivered a pedigree to Bryan turning heel and forming the Authority. D-Bry got his rematch against Orton at Night of Champions the following month. Everybody was expecting a screwy finish to keep the belt on the Viper, but Bryan actually ended up regaining the title. However, Triple H then vacated the title the next night on Raw because of a fast count by referee Scott Armstrong. Since Armstrong was the Authority's crooked referee, why not do a fast count against Bryan? This was overbooked and unnecessary, especially since Orton ended up winning the vacant title 1 month later. In number 3, we have The Fiend with the WWE Universal Championship from SummerSlam 2020. The Fiend defeated Braun Strowman at SummerSlam 2020 to capture the Universal Championship for a second time, but the only thing people would talk about after the show was Roman Reigns' return. The soon-to-be Tribal Chief was finally a heel, and he became Universal Champion the following week at Payback. With the wise man Paul Heyman and the Bloodline by his side, Roman Reigns would have a legendary 1,316-day run with the Universal Championship, even unifying with the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 38. Looking back, nothing would have changed if Strowman had kept the title until Payback. Like, why put it on The Fiend? I don't know. Number 2, we have The Miz with the WWE Championship at Elimination Chamber 2021. The Miz's WWE Championship win over Drew McIntyre at Elimination Chamber 2021 came from out of nowhere. Miz might have become Mr. Money in the Bank, but fans didn't see it coming anyway. After all, Miz was teaming with John Morrison and feuding with the likes of Otis and Damian Priest, far from the main event picture. This was before Damian Priest became cool. It seemed impossible at the time, but The Miz was indeed WWE Champion again, more than a decade after his first reign. It wouldn't last long though. Bobby Lashley took out McIntyre at Elimination Chamber to effectively hand The Miz the title, defeated Miz on Raw about a week or so later to become the new WWE Champion, set up a match with Drew at Mania, which most people assumed would be to give Drew the win in front of fans, but then Lashley won, so I was just kind of like, alright then. And at number 1, we're sticking with the Almighty, as we have his WWE Championship win at Royal Rumble 2022. As we mentioned in the previous entry, Lashley finally won the WWE Championship in 2021. The Almighty had a pretty good run with the belt that year before losing it to Big E in September. Lashley's next big feud was against Brock Lesnar, who became WWE Champion months later at the Day 1 event. The two battled over the Beast's WWE Championship at Royal Rumble 2022. Lesnar was in a bigger program with Roman Reigns, however he tested positive for COVID-19 before a scheduled title defense against Lesnar at WWE Day 1, so Lesnar got inserted into the WWE Championship match and then became champion for some reason. Reigns returned to cost Lesnar the WWE title against Lashley at the Rumble, but the Beast would win the Royal Rumble match later that night. Lesnar chose to challenge Universal Champion Reigns at Mania 38, but for some reason was allowed to enter the Elimination Chamber for Lashley's WWE title. The Beast would win his 7th WWE Championship inside the chamber, setting up the undisputed Universal Championship unification match between Reigns and Lesnar in the main event of Mania 38. And just, what was the point of giving Lashley the belt? Why didn't you just keep it on Big E? Because you could do the exact same storyline. It doesn't make sense. And that's all for this list. So what do you think? What's the most pointless WWE title change you can remember? Let us know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button if you are new around here. That's all for now. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you later. Welcome to the club.